Hello everyone, my name is Clay, and this is Terminally Nerdy, and my brain just stopped working briefly. Welcome to another episode of Vampire the Masquerade Night Road. Let's all play this together. So, when we last left off, we had figured out that we were military recon as our background, so we're sneaky beakies, and we are now at the point of picking our clan. So a couple things I want to clear up. You can see the next vote end date. First of all, I had this question pop up. That day, in this case, the 3rd of June, is the last day of voting. You can vote on the 3rd of June, but the instant it becomes the 4th of June in my time zone, which is Eastern US, your votes no longer count. This person voted on the last day, and they actually pushed us out of a tie. So, real quick, we were back in the States, dead broke with a headache that never fully went away, stay in the house of a friend. We got basically kicked out, and then got eaten. And got the kiss, became a kindred, and we had to get our bloodline. And there's a lot of choices here. Another commenter, which I appreciate, thank you very much, went through and actually wrote down descriptions of everything, because I didn't know that if I click next on any of these, it actually shows like a description, shows what disciplines they get. I kind of think it's funnier that you don't know that info, because I certainly didn't know what they were doing with this. So, let's take a look at the votes. So we had 3 for Banu Hakim, that was who I voted for. 1 for Hakata, 4 for Ravnos. This was going to be a tie between Banu and Ravnos until that one commenter came sliding in. 1 for La Sombra, and 1 for Caitiff. These were the votes. Nobody cared about being Ventru, Tremere, Torador, Gangrel, Bruja, Nosferatu, or the Ministry. So let's update our character sheet, because we're going to be Ravnos. So everyone remembers we're Clan Ravnos. I'll write down our disciplines in a minute. So we click Ravnos. We're going to be the Cursed Wanderers, Tricksters, and Illusionists. Oh, and I'll turn off the votes. Boop. Bloop. Okay. So, Clan Ravnos. Nomads and Daredevils. Clan Ravnos was almost destroyed 20 years ago in a supernatural frenzy of cannibalism and madness. The few remaining survivors never stay in one place for long. That actually fits really well with being a courier. That is surprisingly fitting. Our disciplines are going to be Animalism, Obfuscate, and Presence. Ravnos are legendary for their powers of hallucination, which combine the vampire secrets of invisibility and mind control into a unique art called Chimeristry. Our weakness, and every clan gets a weakness, is Doomed to Wander. An agonizing final death awaits any Ravnos who remains in one place for too many days in a row. What haunts them? All they know is that they must keep moving. You all voted for it. This is surprisingly fitting for a courier. Alright. A great warrior poet once said that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Once you got out on your own, you had a lot of plans. 5-year plans for jobs, 10-year plans for personal development, relationships plans across a whole lifetime. That last one fell apart first, catching you out of nowhere, knocking your feet out from under you. But you got up, kept going, even as your other plans stalled out. Work felt empty and meaningless. All those dreams of personal growth transformed under your gaze, becoming a pile of worthless self-help shit that no one with half a brain could believe. The whole world went gray and cold. Are we just millennials? Like, is this just reality now? I was getting a little too real. And then you met him, the Traveler. He was in Las Cruces, where you were staying, down from the reservation to sell his jewelry at an outdoor market. People knew him and liked him, though they said he was always in trouble with someone somewhere. Good with his hands, people said. You looked at him and his work, and it were like they were the only things in the world that still had color. Gold, garnet, sapphire shining in the electric lights. He called himself Brian. Perfectly ordinary name. He said that he worked for a man who once stole power from a god, and that one day the god would come back to get it and make them both pay. But until then, did you want to travel with him and help him stay one step ahead of their doom? You hopped in his van that night. Don't get in vans with strangers, people, even if you are horrible, powerful vampires. Brian took you to a ranch owned by his boss, a sprawling estate called... I am not even going to try to pronounce that. You'd never been in a house with a name before. You and Brian spent 3 nights at location, walking the magnificent halls, exploring the wild and overgrown garden. How could it grow so lush here in the desert? And drinking red-black wine from silver cups Brian had made himself. You saw no one else. On the 3rd night, you realized that you loved this place and you wanted to die there, but Brian said you both had work. His boss, he called the man that too, as if the ranch and its owner were the same, had many enemies, including 2 other wealthy landowners. Place was the weakest of the 3, and his enemies hunted him. He needed watchers, he explained, to keep him safe. The rewards of service? A drink from the silver cup once a month, and with it, power and immortality. Then Brian showed you marvels. He could conjure visions out of nowhere, move without being seen, and work other miracles. And he promised that you would learn these arts eventually. When the enemies following him and Dude got a little closer, he would share that power with you. Until then, he charmed and hustled his way across the southwest, sometimes selling his jewelry, sometimes transporting parts of the place, an urn, a chair. Other times he gathered people who would not be missed and brought them places. You never saw what was pursuing that place unless it was the sun itself. Everything from the estate had to be kept safe from the sun. But that was not your only job. You had another task. We're at another vote. Our options are: we drove the van, keeping us hidden from in the wild places between cities. We sought new bodies, relying on charm, research, and occult flim-flam to lure people in. We engaged in strange and esoteric research to learn what pursued us and what powers might compel it to depart. I led Brian's animal followers in hunts for prey and against our pursuers, or I broke into places to stay for the day or where we could find money, or to follow leads about who pursued us. So, once again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Choose a number, or put, like, van, bodies, research. You know the drill now. We're up to, like, what is this? The 4th episode, I want to say? Like, how many episodes am I on now? Oh, no, this is the 3rd. This is the 3rd official episode. I can't even keep track. Is it? No, wait, that's 1, 2... Oh, I forgot to change I forgot to change that to part 3. I'm looking at YouTube. I forgot to change something. So this will be part 4, yes. Okay, so yeah, you know what to do. Let's take a look at our stats, our disciplines, all of that. Here are our stats again. We don't have any points in any of our disciplines yet. So keep that in mind. But we are Clan Ravnos, and our sire is Patrol, and we're the 11th generation. Okay, I am going to actually copy that because I want that information on display at all times. Yeah, and we had, what were our disciplines? It was like obfuscate. I don't remember. That's fine. I'll get the disciplines there later. I think I know what I kind of want to do, so as always, I'll put my vote in the description box. We still don't know anything about ourselves. Now, we're going to decide name and gender if you want. If you have a suggestion, put a name and what gender. Gender fluid, non-binary, all that stuff is valid. Pick what you want. So if you want us to play a gender fluid vampire named Horatio, be my guest. Okay, so you can add that to your vote. You don't have to. Until we'll do this until I pick something. So probably every week I'll still ask for that. So, but yeah, what are we doing, people? You've got until the 3rd of June to vote. Make yourselves heard. As always, I'll catch you all in the night road. Take care.